Today, the 5th of December, we have concluded the 7th IISS Manama Dialogue here in the Kingdom of Bahrain. This year again we brought together a measured blend of Prime Ministers, Foreign Ministers, Defense Ministers, National Security Advisors, Defense Chiefs, intelligence professionals from more than 25 countries to engage in defense diplomacy on the Gulf region in this country. The International Institute for Strategic Studies was hugely proud to have the keynote address from His Majesty King Abdullah of Jordan, who reminded us of the core importance of the resolution of the Arab-Israeli peace process if other issues in this region were to be properly dealt with. And he reminded us that time is running out for a two-state solution. And in answer to questions, he reminded people also of the importance of having military cooperation across the region with a purpose, not training just in order to engage in military activity, but in order to share strategic visions and to allow for more effective interoperability of military forces. The previous evening at the opening dinner, we had an extraordinarily important address from the U.S. Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, who pointed out the very different contributions to security that each of the GCC states make in the way in which they move towards cleaner energy, in the way in which they are adapting themselves to advance political reform, in the way in which, for example, in this country, the Kingdom of Bahrain, the financial center originally of this region, is maintaining itself in a way that allows for a well-regulated banking and financial services industry. And these different contributions to security implied that there were so many different ways in which building stability in this region could be done. She had a very singular and important message for the delegation from the Islamic Republic of Iran, and the sense in the whole was that Secretary Clinton had really extended the hand towards the Islamic Republic of Iran and was not lecturing, not badgering, inviting the Islamic Republic of Iran to understand that it was important to engage in more transparency on the issue of their nuclear file, precisely to ensure that worst-case assumptions were not made by countries in the West or even in this region. The conference dealt also with the problems around the Arabian Peninsula. A great deal of attention was paid on Yemen, and an enormous amount of analysis on whether the particular way in which the Friends of Yemen group were engaging now with Yemen were helpful to an eventual process of political reform and economic development, and whether the engagement of the GCC should be as a group or bilaterally. More generally, it was clear that new issues of security have to be addressed. And if there was one that dominated this weekend's discussion, not just because of the WikiLeaks scandal, but for other reasons as well, was the important emerging issue of cyber security. Wars of the future will not be fought between armies, between rebel groups, but might well be fought in the electronic domain. And there was an urging at the Manama Dialogue for organizations like the International Institute for Strategic Studies to contribute inventive strategic thinking as well to this problem. Finally, everyone who came here want to come again for next year. The Manama Dialogue 2010 came of age, and this is now the principal regional defense security institution for the area.